$4.5 million gate. Performance of the night, Evloev and Dyer, and fight of the night, Jones and Sola. Who's got the first question? Yeah.
Hi Dana. I saw John Jones tweet earlier today. Sorry to start with a question about the event tonight, but I saw him tweet today that talking about the White House card and how he wasn't offered $1 over $15 million, and how he thought the fight was worth more. So I just wanted to get your response to that, essentially.
John Jones tweeted that he was offered not $1 more than $15.
John Jones was never fighting on the White House card. How many fucking times I gotta say this? He was never fighting on the White House card. I literally have done two press conferences talking about this. These guys went out, found everything that they thought was available and possible, and then I picked the fights. There's no way in hell I was putting him on the card, no matter what the money was. John Jones was never gonna fight on the White House card.
Thanks, Dan.
Dana here. I know you don't like to make fights just hours after fights have finished, but with Evloev, obviously I can't remember what his win streak is right now, but he's beat a top contender, Evloev and Murphy, who was red hot after that KO over Aaron Pico. Is he going to be the next guy for Volkanovski?
He doesn't remember how many fights he's on a winning streak right now, but I know you don't like to make fights the day after the fight or the day of the fight. But with him winning somebody like Murphy, who put away Pico in such a fashion, there's probably no question that he's the next one for Volkanovski, yes?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, again, you know, I'm not even thinking about that. The fight just ended. But yeah, obviously he's in a great position.
And something I was wondering if you guys are thinking about, are you guys continuing to monitor the situation in the Middle East? Because obviously we know you like to go to Saudi or Abu Dhabi in June or in July, and then obviously the October show. So are you guys monitoring that and potentially thinking of changing plans?
Are you monitoring what's going on in the Middle East? Because we like to go to the Middle East and Saudi and Abu Dhabi in the summer. With the situation that's happening in the world, are we thinking about changing locations?
Changing the location of what fight?
The Middle Eastern fights, the Saudi or Abu Dhabi?
No. As of right now, no. I know it's fucking weird that I need a translator when you speak English, but I can't hear. My hearing's so bad. And if you have a slight accent, I'm really screwed. But yeah, anything you have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Dana, I'll ask you about a couple of Irish fighters. Ian Machado Gary was here in attendance tonight, and he's been very vocal about the possibility of getting the next title shot at 170 pounds. What's the likelihood that we see him against Islam Makhachev next?
Machado versus Makhachev, is there a possibility? Is it likely? He was here today. Ian Gary, he's very vocal about trying to fight Makhachev next. Is it possible that we see that fight next?
Yeah, like Islam's come back from an injury, a hand injury. As soon as he's ready, we'll figure out what's next for him.
Also on Irish fighters, the Zuffa Boxing Sky Sports deal was announced this week, and the social media post specifically mentioned the UK and Irish fans. And I'm wondering, what's the likelihood that we get a Zuffa Boxing show back in Ireland in 2026?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely will, yeah.
One other question on that. I am, alongside my day job here, I'm the #1 ring announcer in Irish professional boxing. What's the chances that I could maybe convince you to allow me to announce King Callum Walsh in the 3 Arena in Dublin this year?
Yeah, it's definitely possible, yeah.
Okay, let me know. Let me know. Hopefully we can make it work.
All right. Why don't you give, show Lene your stuff. Let me look, get it to her, and then I'll check it out. All right? Thanks.
Dana.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, I was.
Hi, Dana. Carl, I've got a question about boxing. Congratulations on the Scottish.
We like the idea.
Is there any more details you can share on that?
Congratulations on the Sky Sports deal. Is there more details you can share about the deal itself?
Like what?
When will the first fight be? What sort of thing?
Well, I think the first fight's going to be in April on TV. The first fight here will be May.
Have you got any venues confirmed? Will they be pay-per-view cards, or will they be Sky Sports Fight Night cards?
What's the question?
Do you have venues confirmed?
No venues or any of that yet.
Will there be pay-per-views, or they will be just on Skynet?
On Sky.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Dana right here.
Yep.
So many people are disappointed with the performance of MVP. Obviously, it's still a win, but what do you make of the performance of MVP? Where do you see him going next?
Many people are disappointed by MVP's performance, and a lot of people are booing. What do you think about his performance, or where do you see him going next?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a great fight either. It was a bad fight. I don't know. It was, he won, so we'll see what's next.
I have a question for you and Hunter as well. Jorgen recently talked about the fact that him and Hunter was talking about the fact that the weight classes were too little in the UFC, and maybe this causes some problems, and there were some solutions that they were talking to you about. Can we know a little more about what those solutions could be?
Who said the weight classes were what?
Your friend Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking that there's not enough weight classes maybe in the UFC. Question for both you and Hunter regarding weight classes?
No, they're going to stay exactly the same. Yeah.
Last question. You said that you were going to come to the UFC in Paris. We know that the Paris crowd and the London crowd are one of the most craziest crowd for the UFC. When are we going to see you in Paris?
That what crowd is crazy?
Craziest crowd in the UFC is the Paris crowd.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody says. Yeah. I don't know. You know the date we're heading?
September.
September. Yeah. So you already knew?
Yeah, I'm
What the hell are you asking me for if you already knew the question?
Will you be there?
Yeah, oh, will I be there?
Of course.
I will be there. Okay.
Every year you say that, and then
I misunderstood. Yeah. All right. I'll see you in Paris.
See you in Paris.
Yes, sir.
Dana, just over in front of you. A lot of the top guys in MMA, Topuria, Sean O'Malley, Alex Pereira, have voiced their interest in having big super fights in boxing. Does that now make it easier for you to promote them under Zuffa Boxing? Are you interested in having those guys have one-off super fights?
One of the UFC guys fighting in Zuffa Boxing?
So, like the likes of Sean O'Malley, Topuria,
No.
Pereira. You wouldn't be interested in promoting those fights?
No way in hell. The crossover fights suck.
Even like Pereira was rumoured to go and get big money against Alexander Usyk. Would you not see the financial benefits in promoting that?
That's not what we do. It's just not what we do.
But sure.
I want to see the best fighters in the world fight the best fighters in the world. I mean, I'd like to see Jairo Bataya fight Usyk.
I understand what you're saying, but from a business perspective, if then Pereira tries to get off...
There's other networks and other people that do that shit. That's not what I do.
Fair enough.
It's just not what I do. I did it once.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was amazing. It was financially unbelievable. But how many times can you keep fooling people with that? I run a business that every Saturday, basically, I put on fights, right? And we try to put on the best fights with the best fighters in the world. And you hope that the people that came to London, got hotel rooms, bought tickets, and spent all this money to come here, and the people who stayed home on a Saturday got what they were hoping for. You hope you deliver. And what I hope to deliver on Saturdays is as many holy shit moments as possible. And you don't get that from the crossover fights, and I don't know. Educate me. I'm right here. I'm drawing a blank. Tell me a crossover fight that you ever saw that you were like, wow, that was fucking unbelievable. And I feel like I just saw the best fight the best.
It just seems like at the moment those are the ones that are generating the most traction online and getting a lot of excitement.
Does it?
It seems like it. It seems like
I would have to fucking completely disagree with you.
Well, a lot of the top MMA guys are voicing they want to have those fights, like Pereira.
Yeah, the fights that pull big numbers are the ones that involve Mike Tyson. Other than that, if it's not Tyson, you're going to always have people that are willing to watch that, but it's just not what I do.
Yeah, no, I agree from a spectacle standpoint, probably from a promotional standpoint, the adverts, the build-up would be cool, but in terms of like an actual fight, I do agree with you.
So what I'm into is the best versus the best. What's at stake? What does this fight mean? And where does it? I mean, he was just asking me a minute ago. Mozart just won this fight. What's next for him? And, you know, what does this mean? Is he getting it? You know, that's what matters to me. You know, anybody who's ever been a competitor, I guess you would call it, they take older UFC fighters that don't fight, you know, that aren't ranked or just have big names, built a name here, and then they fight each other for what? For money. And other than that, there's nothing, it doesn't lead to anything. That's not what I do. So if I took my biggest star in the UFC versus a big star in boxing, and they fight each other, and it's a lopsided, horrible fight, that means nothing for either of them. What is the point and what's the purpose? It's just not what we do here.
In terms of the growth of Zuffa boxing, so I actually asked you about the ideas you had for Zuffa boxing back in 2018 at the Darren Till Stephen Thompson post-fight press conference. So you've been having this vision for a long time. You have well and truly took the sport of boxing by storm. The beef with Eddie Hearn is a surprise to a lot of people because he said over the years that he's modelled matchroom boxing over the UFC model. Did you think that his signing of Tom Aspinall on a management basis was a direct retaliation to you signing Conor Benn? And what have you made of this whole experience between you and him? Because you were friends at one point.
Yeah, I don't know what the thought process was. And doing, you know, Eddie was coming out saying, I look forward to competing with them, and you know, there's things that they don't know about boxing that they're going to learn. And then 2 weeks later, he's an MMA manager. You know, I don't get the move, but
how is that going to work in a sense of negotiations? Because from his perspective, he'll feel like he might want to be in the room or be on those calls with you. Are there going to be certain things that are going to have to be put to one side? You mentioned that you had to do dealings with Tito.
No, I mean, we've dealt with some fucking beauties over the last 25 years. I can promise you that.
Tito wanted to fight Eddie Hearn, didn't he?
Eddie Hearn will be no different. It doesn't matter who the managers are. It doesn't matter at all. We will get deals done with guys. And
last one from me. You are a beast when it comes to competition. Do you feel like the likes of Frank Warren, the likes of Eddie Hearn, who are obviously having their backup, having been in the industry of boxing for so long, does that light a different fire in you? Because you won't back down from any competition as long as we've known you observing the sport of MMA.
What's the question?
You're a fierce competitor. Having somebody like Eddie Hearn being your competitor, do you think that lights a fire under you? Do you see yourself being competitive?
I mean, whoever is out there that wants to compete, I love to compete. I haven't seen anything from anybody yet in the boxing business, to be honest with you. I've seen less than nothing from these guys. And in the last press conference I did after the last boxing match, you know, it's been pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. I expected a lot more, but then when you look at the state of the sport of boxing, I guess it's not that much of a surprise.
Dana, you're right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on looping back to the main event. There's been quite a controversial reaction online. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you scored it.
Controversial reaction to the actual result of the main event today. How did you score the fight? There's been backlash about it.
What was the controversy?
Well, people were saying, you know, the round got more rounds, Mosvar, you know, with the point deduction.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think one of the judges had probably a draw, and yeah. No, I don't think there's any controversy.
Okay. And I just want to get your thoughts as well on this guy at the back, Paddy Pimblett. We're all dying to see him back in the UFC. Have you got a plan in place for Paddy?
What about Paddy being back?
Do you know when he's back?
Yeah.
When he's going to be fighting?
When are you going to fight again?
International Fight Week.
All right, there you go.
Does that sound good to you?
Is that what?
Does it sound good to you?
Yeah. Whenever he wants to fight, we'd love to have him back.
And just lastly from me, it was announced recently Nate Diaz was added to the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano card on Netflix. I wanted to know from you, did you have any conversations with Nate about bringing him back to the UFC? What was your reaction when you found out that he'd signed to the MVP to fight on that card?
Nate signed to fight under the Gina Carano Ronda.
Yeah.
Have you had a conversation with him about bringing him back to the UFC before that all thing happened?
Yeah, he came in and met with me a couple weeks ago. We had a good time, and I think Nate just got an offer he couldn't refuse. I haven't talked to him since then, but yeah, no, I'm happy for him.
Does that now rule out him coming back to the UFC now that he's done that?
Is he coming back?
Is that an issue for him to then come back to the UFC after that?
I don't know. I mean, let him do his thing, and then let's see how the fight plays out, and and we'll see what happens.
Dana here, piggybacking off that.
Go ahead.
What's your thoughts on Netflix getting into?
Go ahead.
Sorry. What's your thoughts on Netflix getting into mixed martial?
What are you, a ventriloquist? Holy shit!
No.
Somebody else.
Go ahead, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Simone Data for...
You were staring at me, and I could hear a voice. And
No, it was you talking, I didn't get it. It was crazy. Simone Data for Fight for Yours. We're Italian media, so I gotta ask. A few weeks ago, out of nowhere, a report came out that the UFC sort of reached a deal or something like that to maybe come to Italy in 2027. I wanted to know if there's anything true about that, or even just an intention of going to Italy as soon as possible, maybe next year.
A few weeks ago, a rumor came out that there was a deal reached with going to Italy. Is that true? Any truth to that? Is UFC heading to Italy in the next couple of years?
well, so we have an entire team of guys that are out there always looking to where we're going to head next on the schedule. And I'm always trying to go to places we've never been, and I love Italy. I would love to go to Italy. I don't know if that's true right here, right now, but I hope you're right.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dana, just a couple from me.
We have time for one more.
Hi, Birgir from MMA News in Iceland. I want to ask you how you rate the European crowds, and if you're planning, I'm glad to hear you're planning a show in Paris. Are you planning any more events in Europe this year?
How do I rate the European crowd, and are we coming back to Europe? Was that?
How do you rate the European crowds? I know you go into Paris, but are you planning to come to Europe more this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I say it all the time. I always tell people, if you've never seen a fight in the UK, you have to. And a lot of places that we go throughout Europe are a great experience for people that have never experienced it.
I know Paddy Pimblett has been asking for a fight at Anfield. Now we have a few rising stars in Liverpool. Is that something you're seriously looking into?
Going to Liverpool?
Yeah, or especially Anfield.
Especially Anfield.
Yeah. Yes. So not only with UFC, but boxing, we're going to be traveling all over the UK, like we always do.
Brilliant. Finally, from me, Sean Silva came out and said he was here in London to make a deal to fight for the title. Do you care to comment on that?
Jean Silva said that he was here no matter what was going to happen in the main event today. He was signing to fight Volkanovski next for the title. Is there any truth to that?
We'll have to see. When we announce it, then you'll know it's true.
Okay, one more. So, news about Conor coming back. Now we got Conor and Ian Gary from Ireland. Are you looking at a Dublin card anytime soon?
With Conor coming
News
back?
about Conor coming back. Now you got Ian Gary and Conor McGregor. Are we coming back to Ireland soon?
Yeah, that's a great question. Definitely not with those fights. But yes, I mean, I love Ireland too, so love to go back to Dublin, do a show there. And we're definitely taking Zuffa Boxing to Ireland too. But the Conor Gary fight won't be in Ireland.
Sorry guys, we have to wrap.
Dan,
Good?
can I have one? One question?
Yeah.
Dan,
Yeah.
obviously tonight there's been some fantastic fights, and since you've been coming to the UK, whether it be Michael Bisping, Paddy Pimblett, Tom Aspinall, there's so many fighters that put on amazing wars. But Mason Jones, he was brilliant tonight. And in terms of entertaining fighters, is he right up there with the most entertaining fighters the UK's produced?
Holy shit.
You had Bisping, Aspinall, you had lots of great English stars. Today, Jones put on an incredible fight. What does it say about the English stars from what I believe? What do you feel about the English stars specifically?
From an entertainment standpoint.
From a what standpoint?
From entertainment standpoint, what do you think about the English blokes fighting, specifically the English guys?
Yeah.
Is he up there with the most entertaining, was the question.
Is Jones the one that fought today, one of the most entertaining stars you got, specifically because he's from England? Because
What's the question? Do I like English fighters? Do I think they're great? Is it awesome to bring these guys to England? The answer is yes, sir. I always regret the last fucking questions. I always regret it. I'm kidding. Thank you. Good night.
Yes, Luke.
Yes, brother.
So, you're obviously very harsh on yourself after that fight. You have had that after fights and cage wars as well. You're a perfectionist, like you said. Now the dust has settled. You agreed you feel you was a bit harsh because it was a very exciting fight. Showed how aggressive you are in there, and you landed some really big shots.
I've said a couple of times now, I've got a few times, I'm a perfectionist, I know what my ceiling is, so yeah, probably was a bit harsh on myself. I got the win on 26, co-main in my second UFC fight. So yeah, the journey continues. 13 and 0. Let's see what's next.
You said in the Octagon afterwards you believe that you have a target on your back now. You're going to have a lot of people gunning for you. Does that light a different fire in you? Because from your words, you feel that was a 5 out of 10 performance. So it's not a true example of you at your absolute best.
Yeah, look, I love that. Put a target on my back. Like I've said to whoever the company wanted to put me up against, or whoever wants to fight me happily, back in the gym, work on the things that need to be fixed, and yeah, be out there and look, I'm fresh. A few sore bits on my body, that's it. Didn't really take no big shots, so yeah, I'll be back in the gym as soon as the body's healed up and be looking to stay active.
You looked very calm and present when you were making your entrance. Obviously.
Yeah, maybe a bit too calm. Said that, maybe a bit too calm. Yeah, going in the fight, shots like from the off just didn't affect me, so I feel like I didn't show sort of no respect in that sense. But yeah, look, I won, so.
Was the anxiousness not there in the change room before?
Yeah, I was saying that to my team. It felt a lot different to Qatar, and considering it being the co-main, I feel like it should have been maybe the opposite way round on the walkout and stuff. I don't know, I didn't really feel sort of that nervous energy you should have. But look, it's all a learning experience. I learned from this and I won. So, yeah, it's good. I feel like it's very good for me.
Well done, mate.
Thank you for that.
Luke, to you right, over here. I know you pride yourself on getting knockouts like you did in Cage Warriors in your debut, but obviously 3 hard-fought rounds. What were the biggest lessons that you learned from this fight?
The 3 biggest lessons. Yeah, just probably don't look for the knockout all the time. Just take me time. I'm a lot better than these guys, but sometimes I feel like I drop to their level when I'm in the cage. I just need to. Yeah, look. I don't really know. I need to watch it back. I need to watch it back before I speak on the performance, really. Because I've said this a few times, you have a thing in your mind where it looks a certain way and then you watch it back and you're like, wow, that wasn't how the fight was, you know what I mean, in your mind. So yeah, I need to watch it back before I comment on the performance.
Your first UFC fight in the UK, what was the experience like from yourself with the crowd? Was it really got behind you tonight? What was that like?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I just hope they enjoyed the fight and feel like they got the money's worth, so yeah.
And last one for me, was there anything about Aspinall's game that surprised you at all? Because I was speaking to a few fans in the crowd, they were quite surprised at how well he performed tonight. Was there anything that surprised you?
No. Look, I always knew he was going to be tough. He was very, very tough. Yeah, he came to fight, so fair play to him.
Thanks, Luke.
Hi, Luke, just over here. Just here. Hi, Luke. Congratulations on the win. I know you seem a bit subdued considering you just won. Like all fight week, you've been really good with the media. You've been calm and selective. I think you were really calm and selective with your shots in the cage as well. why is it you come across not as happy as you should be, considering you just co-main evented? I know you didn't get the finish, but 26, 13-0, the UFC indefinitely hired you because you just co-main evented in London. I think you should give yourself a bit more credit.
Yeah, I should. I just can't wait to get back in the gym. That's one of them fights you just want to get back in a cage straight away. So yeah, I can't wait to get back in the gym and get me up straight away. But yeah, I won, so I need to stop taking digs at myself, don't I, to be honest.
Yeah, you also landed some big shots in there. I think in the post-fight you said that his head was like a cinder block. Was that a shock to you because you were landing some very clean strikes and you just kept on eating them? But in the future, could that be good for you, your conditioning and just learning to adapt to those situations?
Yeah, taking my time, not trying to get people out there straight away, and sticking to the game plan, and stuff will come. You don't need to rush certain stuff. Take your time. When the opening does come, take it then. Don't be just trying to create one from something that's not even there in the first place.
And last one for me, if you could pick a destination for your next fight, where would it be?
Destination? I need to fight in America though, nice, so Vegas, yeah, whatever.
All the best.
I'm not really too forced, wherever the UFC wants me to go, I'm happy to go.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
Hi Luke, congrats on the win. I just wanted to ask about your teammate Shem. Obviously, went 0-2 today. So is it kind of a bittersweet night for you? Obviously, with him losing.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you want your teammates to win. Look, obviously I'm my own man, so Shem will be back. It's the fight game.
I guess just one more. Obviously, you said you want to get back in the cage pretty quickly. Is there a specific name you want next, or anyone you're looking at?
No names. I'll fight. I'll happily fight whoever they want to give me. No names, really, no.
Cheers.
Luke, right here. Congrats on your win, first of all. You landed some good shots at the close range, especially with your left hook. What do you think that you needed to get the knockout? What was the missing point for you to get that knockout?
My feet wasn't really planted in certain shots. I was lunging in. Wasn't really staying planted. And I probably said I made it a bit too much of a boxing match. It's MMA at the end of the day. I've got very good kicks, believe it or not, so I need to utilise them.
And is that left hook where you find yourself more comfortable with?
I'll be honest, the left hook probably isn't even my main shot. Obviously I caught bogged down with that, but I'd say my right hand's the better shot. But yeah, back in the gym and work on the whole game, as you always do, and I'll come back a better fighter, 1,000,000%. I promise everyone that when I'm back, my next one will be a finish.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Luke, over here. Congrats on the win. I actually spoke to you after your guitar win. You mentioned about how before the fight, Paddy gave you something of a pep talk because it had just come off the back of a Liverpool loss. So he basically told you, you better win now. I'm wondering if that was the same as tonight.
No, he didn't say that tonight. Yeah, it was... Look, I knew I was going to win, obviously, so... yeah, he didn't say that tonight.
Was there anything you did say?
No, he was just on his game.
Nice one, congrats.
Yeah, that's right.
Officer, right here. Last time we spoke, I complimented you on your striking, and you said thank you for your compliment. But
Yeah, it was because of you. Next time, do not compliment for my striking. Let me do my wrestling, please.
That's what I was about to say. Did you try to prove a point with your striking today?
I had 9 victories before this fight, and mostly I used my wrestling. But like I said before many times, my striking is also good, and maybe it was even if I can't finish, if I show my striking skills, maybe it will be the key to get title shot.
You got a point deduction.
And against a good striker in his land, undefeated guy. So what else? Let's fight for the title.
You got a point deduction after the second ground strike. What were you thinking at that moment, at the moment of the second one?
Repeat again, please.
После второго удара в пах забрали очко у тебя. Какие мысли у тебя в голове после этого были?
Сняли очко, скажи.
Что сняли очко после второго удара в пах? Что на это повлияло как-то у тебя?
I feel bad because I hurt him like that. If you know what I mean, so bad when somebody hurt you there. And it was by accident. I'm not trying to stop this fight, or even I did worse for myself because I gave him another minute to take a rest. But was just wrong. Even if they took it from me, I had to at least more that I already won.
We heard many commentators also talk about the controversy about the decision. When the fight was over, did you think you were going to get the decision?
Много комментаторов сказали, что спорное было решение, что не все согласны с этим решением. Твои мысли по поводу решения?
I was confident that I won. Yeah, but maybe most of them saying this because of that point.
Last question for me. What did you make of Gene Silva saying that whatever happens tonight, he's getting the title shot?
You're just lying.
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
Мовсар, привет. Дейна Уайт был здесь, и он сказал, что, возможно, ты будешь следующим соперником для Волконовского. Тебе приятна такая похвала от босса?
Dana White was here earlier and he said that potentially you are the next matchup for the champ Volkanovski. Do you feel good about him saying stuff like that?
Thank you, Uncle Dana, for saying this, because before you only hate me, you're saying hate to me. But still, it's just potential. We'll see what happens. I'm ready for the title, or just give me another debut guy.
Спасибо, Дэйна, спасибо, что ты так сказал, потому что до этого ты говорил какие-то ненавистные вещи про меня. Наконец-то ты сказал, ты увидел, что я заработал, но все равно для меня это приятно, и я готов. Дайте мне какого-то другого дебютанта.
Или тайтл, или дебютанта.
Yeah, either give me a title or give me a debut guy.
И еще один короткий вопрос. Меня, судя по твоему внешнему виду прямо сейчас, он самый жесткий был из всех соперников, которые у тебя были в UFC.
Judging by what you look like now after the fight, was he the hardest opponent that you've had up until now in the UFC?
Я думаю, он был, да, одним из самых жестких, потому что нелегко оставаться непобежденным на этом уровне. И учитывая, какой тяжелый был кэмп, и то, что мне пришлось драться у него на родине, и то, что у меня практически не было времени даже отдохнуть, когда я прилетел, до того, как я начал вес гонять. И, короче, было много суеты перед этим боем. И, если честно, последние 2 недели практически спал по несколько часов в день, 2 или 3 часа. Все это накапливалось, накладывалось друг на друга. Но в итоге я осознал для себя, что очень многое должно случиться, чтобы как-то отталкивать меня назад от той цели, которую я себе поставил.
He's definitely one of the hardest opponents, but it's obvious because it's not easy to stay undefeated at such a level, you know. And the fact that it was in his backyard, the fact that it was the camp was pretty hard. The fact that I had to go through all those things before I got here. I basically didn't have any time to rest, any time to recover. There was a lot of things that happened during the camp, during the preparation. For the past couple of weeks, I pretty much slept a couple of hours per day, really. So all of that stuff, it all adds up and it all kind of weighs on you before such a fight. And then what I realized though is that what it did is it just made me stronger because it shows me that no matter what, if I set a goal for myself, none of these things are going to distract me and take me away from my goal.
What else? For me, Mofsar, on your right here. Congrats on your win, first of all.
Thank you, bro.
In a hypothetical fight against the champion Volkanovski, especially watching his last 2 performances against Diego Lopez, what do you think that you have that others don't have that could help you beat Volkanovski, especially considering all his experience in title championship fights?
Теоретически, если посмотреть на твой бой против чемпиона Волконовского,
Еще раз?
Теоретически, если представить твой бой против сейчас чемпиона Волконовского, что есть в тебе, что не было в его предыдущих 2, скажем, оппонентах, да? Почему тебе кажется, что у тебя есть ключ к победе, если у них у двоих не было этого?
В принципе, ничего особенного, но Я думаю, меня невозможно будет остановить в том, что я иду к своей цели, и неважно, что случится и сколько это времени займет, титул я забираю по-любому.
You know, nothing, secretive or special, no special technique of any kind, but the one thing that I have is that nobody can stop me because I have a goal. It does not matter how long it's going to take. It doesn't matter what I have to go through. I am taking this title, the end.
Thank you, Mafsar.
Thank you. Tiago. It's American top team back there.
Mobsar, over here. There's been a lot of talk about how crisp your striking was tonight and how much you used that, but you obviously used your wrestling a lot more late in the fight. Was that always the plan? And given how dominant you looked in those late rounds, do you almost wish you'd done that from the start?
I wasn't trying to take him down, but when I started to push him back and he was trying to push me back through, and my overhand landed in. He was too close, and takedown comes by itself. Okay, like if he's here, why I don't use it? It was like this, But I don't have planned have just takedowns and win by this, because I was pretty confident in my striking skills.
Mofsa, we're here. Hi, Simone Tata for Fight for Yours. First of all, congrats on the win and on the performance. And second, when we think about Volkanovski as a champion, how much of a motivation is it for you to potentially take the belt and the throne from him rather than some other opponent, for example, Diego Lopez, if he had beat Volk? How much bigger would it be to take the belt from a legend, potentially the greatest featherweight of all time?
Yeah, when I realize after when I retire or something, after many years, when I remember, so I take the title from this legend, and I'll be proud of myself. And I love this guy. He's really respectful, and he's the man. And but when I step into the cage to fight him, there is no respect anymore. I'll go there just to take my belt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm also already you have mentioned about ATT. So
start again, please.
Sorry.
Again.
I want to ask about because you've mentioned already about ATT. So I want to ask, did Mike Brown already told you something about this fight? Ты сказал про ATT, уже ты уже говорил про ATT. Что тебе Майк Браун сказал после боя, если что-либо уже сказал про сам бой?
I don't remember. Maybe he said, okay, another victory. He's proud. Was that he said, right? Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This guy is special.
I'm Mofsar, just over here.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Many people have always just seen you as an elite grappler. However, I think today you showed that you're a complete MMA fighter. What was about Lerone and why you thought that it would be the best idea to strike him? What made you so confident that you would be absolutely fine tonight?
Очень многие считают тебя основным грэпплером, борцом, но сегодня ты показал, что ты полностью многосторонний боец. Почему сегодня ты именно решил показать, насколько заточенная и четкая у тебя ударка? Почему тебе казалось, что именно в этом бою против Мерфи ты был уверен в том, что она сработает?
I was trying to show it with Sterling, but he take me down right away when the fight started, and I haven't chance to show it. But still, Murphy is a good striker, and if I show my striking skills against that level striking guy, and I'll win, so it means something, right?
Definitely, and last one from me. Obviously, you've just come out of the fight. You don't know if there's any injuries. Hopefully, there isn't. Is there an ideal time scale you'd like for the fight with Volkanovski?
Понятное дело, что только что закончился бой. Я не знаю, есть ли какие-то травмы. Надеюсь, что, конечно, травм нету. Но в идеальной ситуации, когда бы ты хотел бой против чемпиона?
Yeah, I waste a lot of time. You know, I had too much issues, and better if I fight the earlier is when possible. May will be good. May, June, something like that.
Mo, sir, right here, to your right. I know you said that you've had many issues getting potentially to the title shot, but it all lines up now for you potentially being arguably the greatest featherweight of all time. So, with the benefit of hindsight, do you think that those issues are almost a blessing in disguise?
Ты понял?
Greatest featherweight meaning Volkanovski? Or you?
Yeah. Volkanovski is arguably considered the greatest featherweight of all time, and I'm saying the most are obviously.
Okay, I got you. Получается, что с твоей победой сегодня, несмотря на все эти неприятности и все, через что ты должен был пройти, ты показал невероятный бой. Скорее всего, это значит, что у тебя будет возможность побить самого лучшего, самую легенду в твоем весе Волконовского. Да? Видя это, кажется ли, что все эти неприятности, все эти трудности, которые ты прошел, они стоили этого, чтобы показать, на что ты способен?
Я думаю, да. И даже если пришлось бы пройти еще больше, все, что происходит по воле Всевышнего, и я с радостью принимаю все это. Потому что Всевышний не испытывает нас тем, что мы не выдержали бы.
I believe so. I believe that even if there was more issues and more trouble, I would still take that on. I think it would still be worth it because no matter what happens to us, it all happens by the will of the Almighty. And Almighty never tests us with something that we cannot withstand. So yes, it was worth it.
Thank you.
Мовсар, еще один короткий от меня. Да.
Давай сапу. Окей.
Земляки это святое.
Elder brother.
К слову о земляках, Ислам Махачев уже 3 раза бился в титульных боях против австралийцев. Если тебе сейчас дают австралийцы на титульный бой, будешь ли ты обращаться к Исламу за советом?
Islam Makhachev has fought in title fights 3 times against Australians. If you get a title fight against an Australian, Volkanovski, will you talk to Islam for some advice of how to beat an Australian?
Если честно, хороший вопрос, и почему мне это в голову не пришло до этого. Я думаю, стоит спросить, и да даже если не с австралийцами, я думаю, исламу есть много что сказать, посоветовать с той высоты, до которой он добрался. Так что буду рад попытаться достигнуть того, что достиг мой старший брат Ислам.
Yes, you know what? That's a pretty great question. And even if it wasn't against an Australian, I'm pretty sure that when it comes to advice, it's very good to speak to Islam because Islam has probably a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that he could share because of the heights and because of the levels that he was able to reach. So if I get the opportunity, if I get the chance, I will try to do whatever I can to reach those heights that my older brother Islam Makhachev has been able to reach in his career.
Next guys. Thank you. What is that?